Good afternoon everyone, TMMgamer here, bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay. This time I'm on the map Radiation and I am using the FAL, and I think my perk setup is Flak Jacket Pro, Sleight of Hand Pro and Hacker Pro. Now the FAL, in my opinion, is one of the worst assault rifles in the game. It's quite powerful, but because it doesn't have the rate of fire to match all the other powerful weapons, you are going to lose a lot of gunfights that otherwise you would have won quite comfortably. So only use this weapon if you're looking for a challenge, because while, like I've said, it is fairly accurate and fairly powerful, unless you have some insane trigger finger, you're not going to match the rate of fire of the other more powerful assault rifles like the Commando and the FAMAS. So a lot of the time you are going to lose gunfights that if you'd picked a Commando you would have won. However, the FAL does have some advantages. It is, like I said, quite accurate, and you can use it up to quite long ranges fairly accurately just by firing double taps or firing 3-round bursts. So it's quite an effective assault rifle to use at long range, and as you can see there, if you're fairly accurate and fairly quick on your trigger finger, you can black people up close as well. Now, Radiation is one of my favourite Call of Duty maps because you can use a variety of weapons on it and you can do well, and that's always one of the things I look for in a well-designed map, is the ability to pick pretty much any weapon out there and do very, very well with it. Now, in some maps, like for example Nuketown, you've got to be incredibly lucky or incredibly skillful to do well with an assault rifle. And some of the like the very, very long range maps, for example Overgrown in COD 4 and the one that got upgraded from Modern Warfare 2, you couldn't really do particularly well with a submachine gun. It was a very open map and it relied on assault rifles, LMGs and sniper rifles if you wanted to do well. But I think Radiation is one of those few maps that you can do well with anything out there, and it's one of the maps that Treyarch actually didn't make grey, miserable and boring, because if you look at 90% of the maps Treyarch make, they are grey, grey, brownish grey, brown, black, blackish brown and brown. So everything is just some horrible sludgy mess. But with Radiation they've tried to make it a little bit brighter, put some reds in there, and it actually looks quite a nice map. So this is one of the few maps that I don't skip automatically. It is quite a fun map as well, and it's quite fun for objective game modes because the spawns, doesn't matter which side you spawn on, A or C, but you have an equal chance of capturing B at the beginning. Now that's different to jungle, where the C spawn is by far and away the best spawn on the map, and if you start on C you should get B unless your team's a bunch of blind men. But enough on the gameplay. I just wanted to have a little chat about what's gone on recently. I have recently joined a clan. I know I probably said I wasn't going to join a clan a few years ago, but I've played with a few of these guys the last few weeks and they invited me to join, and it's going to be quite good because I think all of them are very good players, and hopefully we'll be able to do some good pub stomping and perhaps get some competitive gameplay out. Round 2 on the 3v3 tournament me and my team entered. Unfortunately the team we were going to play has dropped out, so we've got a free buy into round 3. So I'll bring you round 3 if you want, or if the team that we were meant to play in round 2 pulls the finger out, I'll bring that for you as well. But the main thing I'm going to do in the next week is bring you some more Fed Up of the FAMAS gameplay. I have... what gameplay do I have? I have some HS10 gameplay, and it's a very, very good gameplay. I think I'm going to put that up on the weekends. The last video I put it before I go on holiday to leave you with something good, but I'll probably put one more video up this week before the weekend. I'm not entirely sure what gameplay I'm going to choose for that, so I'm not going to mention anything. It might be some PSG gameplay on Array actually. That's quite a good gameplay, and I wanted to get a sniper gameplay out since the patch, like the post-patch sniper gameplay, because they have improved sniping somewhat. It's still nowhere near as good as it was in Modern Warfare 2, but it's manageable now. And look at that for a fail. I just forgot to jump and ran into the meat grinder there. What an idiot. But like I said, since the patch it is now a lot easier to snipe. Sniping is more towards the level that it was on Modern Warfare 2. It's still not brilliant. I still get a huge amount of hit markers that you just wouldn't get in Modern Warfare 2. And then you go back into theatre mode and it looks like you shot him in the face and you don't get a headshot for it. So the hit detection's still a little dodgy, and you are going to lose a lot of gunfights over you would if you... sorry, that made no sense. You're going to lose a lot more gunfights with a sniper rifle than if you used an assault rifle, for example. But sometimes, you know, it's quite fun to use sniper rifles because too many people pick a FAMAS, pick an AUG, pick a Commando as default weaponry, and it just turns into a Commando fest. Right, on the FAMAS, did any of you watch the Commentator madness? It was, I think, 10, 15 YouTubers, all the best known YouTube commentators, had a few free-for-all battles to see who's officially the best on YouTube. Now, if you haven't seen that, I'm not going to spoil it for you, but a few of them that took part were Woody's Gamertag, Ronaldinho, The Game 360, and a few others. Obviously, a few noticeable YouTubers didn't take part. I think the most noticeable is XCal. He would have probably done very, very well if he took part, but I don't think it's his scene. And Wings of Redemption didn't take part as well. But it was quite a good competition. And if you go onto Woody's Gamertag's channel, you'll be able to see a little bit of that commentator madness. However, perhaps an even more important thing is the FAMAS is getting nerfed. It is official now. David Von der Haar tweeted a couple of days ago that they are considering nerfing the FAMAS. Now, I think what they're going to do is they're going to up the recoil of it somewhat, because that's what makes the FAMAS a lot better than the AUG, because the AUG and the FAMAS have the same damage and rate of fire stats, but the AUG's recoil is a lot less controllable than the FAMAS is, so it just makes the FAMAS far and away the better weapon. Now, if they completely change the recoil of the FAMAS, that would bring weapons like the Commando into play more, because the Commando is still a 3-bullet kill, but as it has a rate of fire that's substantially less than the FAMAS, it's a much worse weapon. If you turn the corner and you see each other at exactly the same time and pull the trigger at exactly the same time, the guy with the FAMAS is going to win every time. And hopefully, touch wood, this weapon change that they're bringing into it will bring the FAMAS a little bit down, and so you can use other assault rifles and other weapons a little bit better than you could before. Unfortunately, David Von der Haar has said nothing about patching SMGs, because submachine guns are by far and away the second class of weapon, if you like. Obviously, the 74U and the MP5 are very good weapons, but in comparison to, say, even a basic assault rifle like the G11, you are going to lose with an SMG to the G11 most of the time, because the G11's hipfire is pretty insane for an assault rifle. But at least Treyarch are learning. It's taken them several months to finally understand that the FAMAS is overpowered, but at least they are learning. At least they're going to patch it eventually. So it's a reasonable, it's a reasonable change, but it's taken them a bit too long for it to be effective, because everyone's attention is now on Modern Warfare 3, and they could give everyone £100 and people still wouldn't talk about it as much as new Modern Warfare 3 information. So I think Black Ops and Treyarch have missed the boat a little bit there, but what are you going to do? Right, the last thing I'm going to talk about is a new map pack that has been released, and the turnaround has been pretty quick, because the map pack's only been out for about a week on PS3, the new one, and yet the third map pack that Treyarch are going to release has already been announced, and it has a few nice ideas. It has a zombie map that's actually set in the jungle in the daytime, and not some horrible grey sludgy mess that Treyarch always like to set zombie maps in. But the other multiplayer maps don't look anything special. Driving looks the best map. It's a little brighter than average, but as per usual, the vast majority of the maps are just grey sludgy messes. So it's nothing to get too excited about. If you're into your zombies, it'll be worth a purchase, but if you're not, it's probably not worth a look in. But my final score here was 13-4, and I joined the game late, so I thought that was pretty good. If you enjoyed the video, guys, please rate and comment as always, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.